MT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening again. Tonight, a mother and grandmother sit in jail defending their actions. Police say they found a newborn on the floor of their minivan, surrounded by feces, bags of trash, and bugs. 66-year-old Charlotte Simpson and 32-year-old Rebecca Foltz face criminal abuse charges. Police say the child also was wearing a wet diaper and struggled to breathe. The two women talked to Garrett Weimer. They say the baby was safe.
It was here along Old Richmond Road. Investigators say they tried to pull the car over. It wasn't until after Rebecca Foltz and Charlotte Simpson were arrested. Deputies say they eventually found a 2-week-old baby boy on the floor inside, covered in a blanket.
Do you think it was dangerous for him to be where he was in the car?
No, he just had a few heat bumps on him, but that was it. In
an interview from jail, Foltz, the baby's mother, didn't exactly say why her young son wasn't in his car seat, but said he was safe. Deputies say he was found in filth with ants on his face and wearing a dirty diaper.
I think it was very fortunate that we were there to come to the rescue for that child.
Investigators say both paramedics had to take care of the baby on the way to the hospital. So a deputy who used to be a paramedic drove the ambulance.
Definitely we needed to make an arrest, and we needed to take charge of that infant and see that it got emergency care as soon as possible. It was a very dire situation, to say the least.
Deputies say thankfully the baby is doing better now after being treated for dehydration.
We told them the baby was in there.
Deputies say it was about 10 minutes before anyone said anything about the baby being in there. Is that how you remember it?
Well, yeah, but we were in the shade and the windows were down. Yes, they were, It was living. Why in the world?
They both say, despite the allegations against them, that Foltz is a good mother.
I treated my son good. I'm a good mom. I've never neglected him. I have always taken care of him. They told a bunch of lies.
And they both tell me they don't deserve to be behind bars. In Laurel County, Garrett Weimer, WYMT Mountain News.
Foltz and Simpson were arraigned this morning in Laurel District Court. We are told a preliminary hearing is scheduled for next week. Today, a grand jury indicted Anthony Lewis for murder. He is the man police believe killed Marlena Holland Hurt in Bobby Davis Park last month. This is video of him in court last week. Investigators say Lewis beat and stabbed her. He faces a murder charge. Lewis is scheduled to appear back in court August 29th. Meanwhile, this man, Paul LeMay, will appear back in court September 11th. An automatic not guilty plea was entered on his behalf today. LeMay is accused of killing his wife last November in Johnson County. A grand jury indicted him in April. Tonight, we are learning a Greyhound bus driver might have been on the phone during a crash. More than 12 people suffered injuries as a result. Here is video of that scene yesterday. Investigators say the driver, 64-year-old John Watts, drove out of his lane on I-75 northbound and hit a flatbed truck. Tonight, we have new pictures being used as evidence in the case. WYMT's Phil Pendleton talked to a woman about what she saw. He shares us with the latest developments.
And that bus number 1104, heading to Cincinnati, was in the center of the 3 lanes when something caused him to veer into the right-hand lane. And police say they are investigating to see if use of a phone had anything to do with that.
On his phone, holding it on the steering wheel, and it was between his 2 hands, and he was holding the steering wheel and the phone at the same time.
Talking to us by FaceTime, this woman didn't want us to say her name. She says she was on the Greyhound bus, though, riding near the front when it crashed.
He didn't break at all.
Taylor McLean also says she was on the right-hand side of the bus. We spoke to her Thursday shortly after the crash.
I can't say I'm 100% sure at the time of the crash, but a few minutes before I glanced up and I saw him on his phone.
A Greyhound spokesperson says the company has a no-tolerance policy for using phones while driving.
Putting everybody's life in danger for a text message, or a picture, and it doesn't make any sense. I have no sympathy for this man that did that.
There were a lot of people that responded to the accident scene. There were EMS and police and firefighters from several different counties. None of the injuries were considered life-threatening. In Madison County along I-75, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Other telling us about the no tolerance policy regarding phones. We have not heard back from Greyhound on what their action could be regarding the phone allegations. People in Bell County are concerned after one man says he found close to a dozen needles in a public place. You can see the needles laying near Cannon Creek Lake. Bell County Sheriff Mitch Williams says this is a reoccurring problem in the county. Williams says if you find a needle, you can call the sheriff's office and they will come dispose of it, or use a water bottle to throw it away yourself.
Somebody does run across, a needle or something like that laying on the ground. My suggestion would be get like a plastic water bottle, something that you can seal the top of it, work the needle into the bottle and seal it off.
Williams also says deputies patrol the area regularly along with other public parks.
We have seen plenty of sunshine today here in the mountains, and we're going to continue to see that as we head into the next few days. Let's go ahead and take you to a few of those cameras. Look how beautiful it is. Interstate 75 into London, really not dealing with many clouds in the skies over there. Looking on top of Stonecrest, you can see over in Prestonsburg, maybe those wispy clouds, but other than that, those mostly sunny skies. Satellite and radar really mimicking the same thing. Haven't had to deal with those rain chances all day or really deal with any of those clouds. It's been absolutely gorgeous. Thanks to our friend high pressure that's keeping us nice and dry, but it's also keeping us warm. Mid to upper 80s across the area. You're seeing 82 in Logan and Wise, a little bit cooler. Pretty warm 89 here in Hazard, 86 down into London, 87 down into Middlesboro. Those dew points into those upper 50s, lower 60s. Actually not feeling too bad out there. You're in that comfortable to getting sticky phase, but compared to those upper 60s and lower 70s that we're used to, it's actually not feeling too bad. Just definitely on the hot side. So we'll continue to see those warm temperatures as we head into the rest of those evening hours. We'll start to cool off a little bit as the sun starts to set, and we'll continue to see those clear and just calm conditions throughout the overnight hours. But as we head into the weekend, we're going to be warming up even more. I'll have a look at that weekend forecast coming up in just a little bit.
It's going to be a hot one for sure, Paige. Thank you. Well, while the Black Jewel protest continues into its third week in Cumberland, several miners with the company attended an information session in Letcher County to find out what happens next. WYMT's Lauren McCourt talked with one miner who says he just wants to get back to work.
More than a month later, Black Jewel miners are still left with no pay.
This is a huge hit for Eastern Kentucky and the coal fields.
They continue to search and pray for answers.
But, any news is good news.
After the hearing in West Virginia earlier this month, many who are working on the case say there may be a sign of hope.
He wanted to let them know basically that, it's not as dire as a lot of people say, that things are looking up.
But until then, they ask for the miners just to hang tight because they still have a long road ahead.
We really want to do everything we can to try to help people to smooth the transition as much as possible.
Several of the miners have received proof of claim forms, but lawyers say not to fill those out.
That's basically been taken care of them by the lawyers.
And if your 401k has more than $1,000, you have roughly 30 days to retrieve that money, or it will be transferred into a new retirement fund.
And that there may be some relief for them coming, we hope soon.
A lot of the miners are depending on support from others and the generosity of the community.
She's picked up a lot of slack for me, and we've, a lot of people have been generous and helped.
And though they are thankful,
there's not many jobs available as far as coal mining goes, so we really don't have many choices.
They just want to get back to work. In Letcher County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
The lawyers representing the miners say each miner is covered in this court case because their class action was approved. Happening now in Bell County, the music for the miners concert. All money raised goes to a relief fund through the Bell County Tourism. The concert will be at the Bell Theater in Pineville from 6 to 11. Another concert is scheduled for August 24th. Now to a story we were working on for 11. Hundreds of thousands of dollars will help turn one old shopping center into new homes in Perry County. It is all part of a community block grant. This is what the inside of the building looks like now, just outside of downtown Hazard. The city will partner with the Housing Development Alliance on the project. Once completed, the spot will be home to 15 energy-efficient single-family homes. Today, a Pike County teen's family and friends gathered to remember her. Shaylee Cobb died last month. She battled a rare blood disease and leukemia. Today, an emotional ceremony at her old high school, Pike Central. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shows us how they honored her.
All that we may endeavor to do is show that we remember a million little things about Shaylee.
Shaylee Cobb will always be remembered for her kindness.
She was special. She was. She was sweet and kind, and everybody here loved her.
That love brought her friends and family to the football field at Pike Central High School Friday afternoon for a memorial balloon release.
They want it to reach as high as it can get to her.
Shaylee's mother, Bobby Muncie, says it is no surprise that the school wanted to honor her.
They've been there, and they've helped with anything they could possibly do.
And she says the path was not easy.
It was a very long journey. It was very hard.
But the help and support she received from the community means everything.
It means more than they can even imagine.
Now she just hopes one message will rise: the importance of bone marrow donation.
It can be a miracle cure, and I'm sure if she was able to find a good match, it may have been.
She says she knows it may not be too late.
You may save a child's life, or an adult for that matter.
For someone else. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Cobb was only 16 years old. To find out how you can become a bone marrow donor at BeTheMatch.org. Through the years, we have been able to share stories about Marine Corporal Matthew Bradford. This week, he is on another mission. Bradford lost both of his legs and vision after stepping on an IED, or improvised explosive device, in Iraq in 2007. In 2010, he re-enlisted as the first ever blind double amputee Marine. He is now retired and is biking across the state. Bradford is completing this mission with the help of Operation Enduring Warrior.
There's nothing in this world that can stop you. It's only mental. You know, if you believe you can't do it, then you can't. So if I can inspire anybody just to get out and check off something on their bucket list, then that's what I'm here for.
Adding to the ride today, Bradford is celebrating his 33rd birthday.
And as we head into the weekend, we'll continue to see plenty of sunshine, but those temperatures will be on the rise. And when will those scattered rain chances return? I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
But first, 53 years in the making, a brother and sister meet for the first time. Hear from them next.